What's up, everybody? My name is Zach Schalmer. This is a special NFL preview edition of Strong Opinion Sports. I promise you, no matter how good I look or how good I sound, and I don't sound good, I feel terrible. I've been dealing with a throat infection all week. It's been horrible. I'm on antibiotics now, but I'm not doing any full shows until next week. Not to mention, by the way, it looks like freaking Mordor outside. There is so much. I've been breathing smoke all week. But I really wanted to share my NFL preview, so let's jump into it. First, there are 4 teams vying for the Super Bowl this season. The Seahawks, the Packers, the Steelers, and the Patriots. And I strongly believe at the end of this season, the Seahawks and the Patriots will rematch for the Super Bowl. So let's start with my local hometown team, the Seahawks. Not only do they have the best defense that they've ever had, they have the best defense in the NFL. And their quarterback is entering the prime of his career. But there's one problem. They have a really poor offensive line, and that could be their downfall. However, I do believe the Seahawks will go 13-3 and win their division and ultimately make the Super Bowl. So let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers have a ton of good young guys on defense, and Brian Hoyer, their quarterback, when he's not injured, is not as bad as people think. However, the 49ers are still just not a good football team, and this will be a building year for them as they will rebuild their franchise and try to change their culture. So they will go 4-12. That's what the 49ers will be. The Rams are going to surprise some people. See, no one expects the Rams to be good. The Rams have a ton of young guys on defense, and Jared Goff is not as terrible as people think. He's not great, but he's not terrible. So the Rams are not going to shock anyone, but they're going to win some games and will surprise people. They will go, ultimately, 7-9. That's what the Rams will be. Now, I picked the Cardinals to beat the Seahawks once this season, but the Cardinals are old. The Cardinals are really waning. They're almost done. And I think Carson Palmer's done. This is Carson Palmer's last season, so I think the Cardinals this year are going 6-10, even though I really like Bruce Arians, their coach. I just don't think the Cardinals can keep up. Now, let's move on to the Packers. The Packers, again, I think they're the favorite in the NFC, other than the Seahawks. They will easily win the NFC North. They do play a couple of big games this year. First, they play Week 2 in Atlanta, and Week 5 they play in Dallas. Now, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the entire NFL. I don't care what you say about Tom Brady. I even love Tom Brady, but Aaron Rodgers will help them through their tough schedule, and the Packers will go 11-5. You're welcome, Tim. Next, the Vikings and the Broncos are very similar teams. The Broncos have a good defense and not much else. The Vikings will go 7-9. Wow. The Lions play a tough schedule this year. But here's the Lions schedule. Lions have the Steelers, the Falcons, the Saints, the Panthers, Giants, Buccaneers. Not to mention they play Green Bay twice. I don't care. Having Matt Stafford is great. That's awesome. But the Lions, again, will go 7-9 and miss the playoffs because the NFC is ultra competitive and the Lions just don't have it. So I think somewhere between 0-4 and 0-6 is when the Bears will decide to play their rookie quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. Unfortunately, this is a rebuilding year for the Bears. The Bears will ultimately go 4-12. Now, everyone's picking the Cowboys or the Giants. The toughest division in the NFL is the NFC East. And I know everyone's picking those two teams, but I've got all my money on the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not a surprise. I think Carson Wentz is going to take a major step up this year. I think he's going to be even better. He's better than Dak Prescott. And I don't know why everyone's not talking more about the Eagles, but I think Carson Wentz doesn't have to deal with the same mess that Eli Manning has to. He doesn't have to deal with an Odell Beckham Jr. or any of that stuff. So I think that the Eagles will beat the Cowboys in the last week of the season to clinch the NFC East and end up going 11-5 and win the division. So Eagles, I know no one's picking you. You got me. Look at this mess on the floor. I'll show you guys later. The Cowboys are the next team up. And everyone's, what happens with the Cowboys? They're still a fantastic team. And even if Zeke's suspension is enforced, I think they'll be okay because the star of their team is their offensive line. The Cowboys will go 10-6 and be a wild card team. So don't worry, the Cowboys will make the playoffs. I think they'll even make some noise in the playoffs. I just don't think they're going to win their division. We also have the Giants. Everyone's picking the Giants, and I'm like, guys, what do they have? They have a star receiver that's kind of a mess, and they have a quarterback who's Eli Manning's a great quarterback. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Look at his stats and look at what he's done. But I just don't believe in them. Now I do pick the Giants to beat the Raiders down the stretch. The Giants will also go 10-6 and make the playoffs. They will get the second wild card spot. So the wild card currently will be the Cowboys and the Giants. Now, sadly, this means my favorite team and my favorite story of this year, the Redskins and Kirk Cousins, are not going to make the playoffs. I think that this goes down to the very last week. I think the Giants will eliminate the Redskins from the playoffs the Giants will beat the Redskins in the last week, and the Redskins will be eliminated from the playoffs and go 9-7. So, the NFC South is the second. So if the NFC East is the toughest division in football, the NFC South is a close second. And the Buccaneers they're so close. The Buccaneers are right on the cusp of doing great things. I believe Jameis Winston is just a short year away. However, I do think Tampa Bay will fall short and ultimately go, once again, a lot of 9-7 teams. The Buccaneers will go 9-7 and miss the playoffs, but they're close. And I think next year's their year. Now, the Saints will also go 9-7. They don't have it. I love Drew Brees. Look, Drew Brees growing up was my idol. But Drew Brees that's not enough to carry a bad roster in a great division. A fantastic division. It's super competitive. Now, I hate Cam Newton, but I do think the Panthers will win some games. I think they'll go 8-8, which is not, people are hating on that. I don't think that's terrible. I think they are just not good enough to win in this competitive division. Now, I do think the Panthers, the Saints, even the Buccaneers, anyone could knock off the Falcons. I think the Falcons will win the division and go 11-5. But once again, the Panthers, the Saints, the Buccaneers, any one of these teams could surprise them and take the division because this division is super competitive. Now, let's move on to the Jets. The Jets are by far, not even close. I think they're tanking. They are trying to lose. The Jets are by far the worst team in all of football, and it's not even close. And I worked through their whole schedule. I did a lot of research for this. I went down week by week, looked at how much teams were traveling, how much teams were doing, all kinds of stuff. I think even with that, the Jets are going 0-16. The Jets are going to be truly terrible. Now, what's the flip side of 0-16? That's 16-0, baby. And, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but the Patriots are also, I'm really sorry to Colin Moriarty. The Jets are just terrible. The Patriots they're the best team they've been in years. The Raiders, the Saints, the Steelers, those are like they have 3 tough games this year. That's it. So maybe the Patriots go 13-3, but I do not see that happening. I would be shocked. So somewhere between 13-3 and 16-0 is what the Patriots will do. I think that the Falcons come to play them at home. I think week 7. I don't trust Matt Ryan to beat the Patriots. Not a chance. The Jaguars are terrible. The Jaguars will go 2-14. There's not much to say there. The Jaguars are just awful. The Texans will go 8-8, and at the bye week, they will start playing Deshaun Watson, their rookie quarterback. Now, the Titans will go 9-7 and win the playoffs, win the division, and make the playoffs. But woo, you made the playoffs. You'll lose the first week, and it's not going to be that exciting. So, the Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck's injury is way bigger than no one's talking about it. And the fact that we haven't heard anything about Andrew Luck's injury is really concerning. I think that week 5, after 4 weeks, Jacoby Brissett, the Patriots' former quarterback the Colts traded for, will eventually start for them. But after that, I think Luck's injury, he might even be out till the bye week, like week 12. So I think the Colts, even with Andrew Luck, will go 4-12 and just be, the Colts are absolutely atrocious, guys. The Colts are going to do nothing this year, and I might not even play Andrew Luck. That's how bad they will be. Now, the flip side of 4-12 is the Steelers, who will go 12-4. The Steelers are one of the best teams in football this year. They can do literally everything, and I'm impressed by them. I'm scared for teams that play them. So, yeah, they'll do fantastic. Now, their little brother, the Bengals, will go 11-5 and make the playoffs as well. The Bengals, no one's talking about the Bengals. I think they're going to surprise people quite a bit. The Bengals have great wide receivers that no one's talking about. Their weapons are fantastic. So I would be aware of the Bengals. The Bengals are going to make some noise and make the playoffs this year, and that's going to be not a shock to me. Now, the Ravens will go 5-11. The Ravens are not good, and their quarterback's injured. They're just going to have a down year. It's not going to be great. But the most interesting, terrible team in all of football, the 11-5 Browns. Yeah, the Browns, I think it's week 13 they play the Bears. That's like their Super Bowl. You got Mitch Trubisky and Deshaun Kaiser going head-to-head. The Browns are interesting, guys, because they have a rookie quarterback that I cannot wait to see play. Now, the Chargers and the Broncos, they're just kind of average at everything. They're 8-8. We don't need to talk about them anymore. The Raiders interest me quite a bit. So the Raiders, people are picking them to do amazing, ridiculously good things. I do think the Raiders will make the playoffs, but I think they're a wild card team. I don't think they're as good as everyone is saying. I think the Raiders will go 9-7 and be fine. They're going to win a lot of games, but their defense is just not as good as people think. Their defense scares me quite a bit. So, the last team on the list, the Kansas City Chiefs will win their division. They will make a lot of noise they have a really easy schedule. It's kind of weirdly pathetic, even though they probably lost in the Patriots tonight. The Chiefs will go 12-4, and they will do absolutely nothing in the playoffs because they don't have a quarterback. So, as I promised, my Super Bowl prediction. My Super Bowl prediction will be the Seahawks and the Patriots. Now, I think the Patriots are fantastic, and I think the Seahawks have the best defense they've ever had and maybe has ever played in the NFL. Like the Seahawks defense is completely legit this year. But if any team can stop the Seahawks defense, it is the Patriots. And again, I think the Seahawks offensive line is quite a big issue. I think Russell Wilson's going to be waning towards the end of the season, kind of limping around, not running as much. I picked the Patriots to win the Super Bowl 24-21 over the Seattle Seahawks, which makes me sad. I do like the Seahawks, but I also love Tom Brady, so it's not the worst thing in the world. My name is Zach Schalmer. This has been Strong Opinion Sports. Weird, brief thing. I felt like I talked way too fast. But I am so happy football is back. Oh my goodness. Strong Opinion Sports will return next week. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to share, and have a great day, everybody. By the way, this is the mess that was made on the floor, and it is absolutely terrible. But I wanted to show, so this is the mess on the floor, but this is also the space I record in. This weird kind of like botched, like I created my own studio, and it's really small, and it's really cramped, but it works, and I love it, and I'm very excited. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry that was so fast and quick, but I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Have a great day.